Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, yada yada yada. So I just want to start this video off by saying all of the clues are there and all of it is valid, right? AOE looks so fucking possible. If we ignore every interview ever and we just look at what's in the anime, what the anime has presented us, what the manga has presented us, the two different beginnings, right? Eren laying down, Eren sitting up, no see you later, the different dreams, the Berserk Titan, the different fight with Annie. If we look at all of the facts from the anime itself and from the manga, no interview whatsoever, no outside influence at all, I would tell you I'm 100% a Hope Chad. I would tell you I 100% believe in AOE. But one thing I'm not going to do anymore is ignore Isayama, honestly. And it is so different to sit in front of Isayama and watch him cry and watch him talk about how much he's been struggling because he received hate over the end that he says he tried his best on. He teared up. Now, I can't sit here and believe that he's just this mastermind manipulator forcing tears out of himself all in the name of this AOE. It comes across as psychotic if he did that, right? He's in front of us crying. And he looked so genuinely touched, and he looked so genuine and sincere when he said he's been struggling a lot. Now, the Cope Chad in me wants to be like, oh yeah, like he thought, he has two endings. He wanted them both to be good. He wanted both to be well received. But AOE is his ending. He wants to just, be the best thing ever. I cannot sit here and think Isayama is this master manipulator of emotions who can just cry on demand and have this sob story about, feeling down because people didn't like his ending. What I saw in that room was somebody who tried their best to make an ending that most people would like. That's what I saw. And now, you could always argue, well, yeah, that's this ending. The manga ending is for people who would like that ending. And so he tried his best to make that one good for them. The anime ending is going to be for people who are more on Paradis' side, I guess, more on Eren and Paradis' side, and they're going to like it. That stuff is possible. But I just want to say, I went from 100% Hope Chad to maybe 40, maybe 50. I just want to be honest about it. Because I sat in the room, and I felt that. I felt that empathy with him. I felt when he said he's been struggling a lot. I felt when he said this is another big thing. He didn't know who Eren was as a character until Kajiyuki voiced him. Now, that doesn't make much sense. He said Eren was, okay, this is me paraphrasing, not spreading misinformation. He said Eren was basically a bad guy in his mind. In his mind, Eren was a bad guy until he heard Kajiyuki voice act for him. And that made him believe that Eren was this, quote, good guy. Quote, good guy because, he does this genocide, but good guy because he was doing everything for his friends, right? Like, it wasn't for his own selfish freedom, it was for the freedom of his friends. That's the, quote, quote, good guy, I believe. Like, I always say that AOE is inevitable, or else Isayama's just a bad writer. But how many times do I need to hear him say out of his mouth, pretty much, hey, I'm a bad writer. I failed the themes. I missed the landing. I didn't hit the mark. How many times do I need to hear him say that before I'm like, oh, fuck, he's a bad writer? In this panel, he literally looked us in the eye. When the question was asked, what is your favorite part of what is your favorite scene? What is your favorite moment? He looked us in the eye and he said, I don't really remember much of my own story. I don't really recall that much. And then he thought for like 40 seconds and he was like, maybe the moments where Connie and Sasha are like, you're stupid, you're an idiot. And it's like, they're both idiots. And that was really fucking funny. But it's like, oh, is that a troll? It feels delusional to keep being like, oh, he's trolling, he's trolling, he's trolling. I feel like at some point I just have to sit down and be like, he didn't do it. He failed to convey the themes. He failed to tie up loose ends, like he said. He missed the mark, like he said. Because he looked genuinely touched that people liked the bullshit, quote, quote, bullshit ending. If that ending was supposed to be bullshit, he should be like, oh my God. Or like unfazed that like people were like, your ending was so good. In fact, he should be laughing to himself a little bit. He should be like, thanks. This motherfucker was moved to tears. And okay, it's one thing to see it on a video, but to be there, to see him break down in person, to hear his throat like choke up as he's talking, he's like, it's been really hard for me with all the hate I've received. And I know the delusional side of me, or I guess the AOE Hope Chad side of me, I can't tell them apart anymore, is like, okay, well, that could just be because both endings are supposed to be good. Just one is supposed to be more catered toward the Alliance and one is more catered toward Eren. Eren chooses himself this timeline. And I do still believe that both are possible, right? It is possible that he just fucked up this one ending and that the anime... But, okay, listen to this. Listen to this. I feel like he set us up... Like, let's say there is AoE. After the things he said, people are definitely going to say, oh, yeah, people bitching and moaning made him change the ending. That's always going to be on the table. And if AoE does happen, I swear to God, that's the first thing people are going to say. You guys made Isayama cry with how mean you were about his ending, so he changed it to suit your stupid needs. Everyone knows that Isayama's on Twitter and Reddit and Quora, so he saw you guys, you stupid Arahisus, bitching and moaning about the ending, and you're sad that Eren died because you thought this would be a happy ending, and woo, so you guys pushed him into a corner and made him change the ending. That's going to happen if AoE happens. But my thing is, I can't sit here in good faith and be like, yes, AoE's gonna happen. AoE's gonna happen. Now, that would make all of the fucking clues so weird, right? Because everything points to AoE. It does. Now, that's what I'm saying. Like, if there was no interview from Isayama, no speech from Isayama, nothing, and we just had the works to look at, I would be like, AoE's happening. 100%. Hands down. No problem. And guess what? It still might. He could just be this big fucking amazing actor fucking trolling everybody, crying, appearing touched, makes touched face, makes heart-warmed face. But no, I don't think so, guys. I really don't. I don't think he has the depth to sit up there in front of, 2,000 people, not 200,000, Jesus, 2,000 people who admire him and fake tears and fake touchness. Now, if you have some other take on this, I would love to hear it. But as of right now, I cannot say I'm 100% a Hope Chad. Especially when he was just basically validated to animate the series the way he wants to, right? Which, I don't know, if reception was so well for the fucking ending. But then again, I was in a fucking echo chamber, right? The people who went to see Isayama were obviously diehard fans. So he has to know that that's an echo chamber right there. He has to know that. But the thing is, when he was being cheeky, you saw it on his face. He was talking about this Japanese game that he liked, or this Japanese show, and he's like, yeah, I like it so much, and it's so crazy because this show violates human rights. And then he makes this cheeky face, and then everybody starts laughing. And we're like, that's Isayama. That little trickster, that little jokester. No, when it came to the way the series ended, and when it came to Kajiyuki's performance, when it came to his feelings when the manga ended, he looked torn apart. He looked torn apart. And now I can say that when he said he doesn't remember his own story, that could have been a troll. That very well could have been a troll. Because his face was kind of blank. I couldn't really get a read on that. But with everything else, I didn't know who Eren was until Kajiyuki voice acted him, and it made me shift the story to convince the readers of this new perspective I had of Eren. Right? He said that, regardless if you think my translations are wrong or not, right? Regardless if you think that, that's what was said. Right? And there are several people who backed up that that's what was said. Kajiyuki influenced Isayama's perception of Eren. And Isayama, in turn, made Eren a, quote, good guy because of that. You cannot ignore that. That's something I can't ignore. I can't ignore that. The anime is influencing the manga? No. No. Like, I don't know. And so I don't want to be annoying or make a doom video. It sounds so fucking dramatic. Oh, it's a doom video. But at the same time, I sat there and watched this man cry because people didn't like what AoE Hope Chads would call his intentionally shit ending. He seemed, you'd only be that upset if you were caught off guard. If you were writing some bullshit and you knew it was bullshit, and people were like, hey, this is bullshit. With Isayama's personality, he should be in there laughing. Yeah, people thought the ending was shit. But no, he's in there crying. And then when the crowd cheers him, no, the ending was so good, he starts crying. And he's touched. And he makes this heartwarmed face. He said, I struggled a lot until I came here yesterday and the fans told me the ending was good. That's not a mistranslation either. Several people have backed that up. That's what he said, guys. That's what he said. And I saw on Reddit people posting, oh, Brown's Magic's translation this is a mistranslation. This is a mistranslation. It's not a mistranslation. It's not. It's me putting together what the fuck is meant by what is said. Come on, guys. You have to process this information. You can't just take everything at face value. And then, come on, guys. I do want there to be another answer. I want there to be okay, yeah, even though this was the intentional inverse of A&R, he still expected it to be good. Right? AoE's still happening, but he wanted his intentional inverse to be good. The Eren failed storyline, he wanted to still be good, and since he couldn't make it good because it went against everything we know about Eren, which apparently he forgot, right? Which apparently Kajiyuki informed him of this new characterization of Eren. Maybe it was still supposed to be good. That ending was still supposed to be good or well received. And then he blows your mind away with AoE. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. But I'm just not going to sit up here and be like, I'm 100% a Hope Chad. Now, not after seeing that. And I'm telling you guys, the videos do not do it justice. I felt his fucking energy in that room, and he was touched. He was moved when people were like, no, the ending was good. So much so that he brought it up a couple times, And so it just feels delusional at this point. Because I always say, if AoE doesn't happen, Isayama's a bad writer. If AoE doesn't happen, Isayama failed. And he said several times, I failed. I couldn't write it properly. I didn't write it properly. I do think to myself, okay, but all of that is true. But, okay, all of what he's saying is one thing, but the anime and manga speaks for itself, right? And that's kind of my biggest point. That's why I'm split. Because if the anime wasn't the way it was, if there wasn't those certain changes, I would sit up here and I'd be like, AoE is not happening. AoE is not happening. But instead, I have to be in this annoying middle fence-sitting position, which I fucking started in, which is so annoying because after investigating AoE myself, I was like, this is happening. This is happening. And just with the belief that no one would troll that far in front of their fucking fans, faking tears, faking being touched, faking their heart being warm. Nobody would go that far for AoE. With that belief, that puts me on the fence, back at 50-50, maybe 40-60, honestly. And so, I don't know. I don't want this to be an annoying Doom video, but I feel like I have to protect myself again, bitch. I feel like I have to put the walls back around my heart, man. Isayama isn't even confident in himself. And you're asking me to believe in him? You're asking me to be confident in him? I can't do it, man. I don't know, man. You really had to be there. You really had to be there. He was hurt. And that's not the reaction someone gives if they made an intentional shit ending. But the loophole around that is they were both supposed to be good. This is your ending for fans who like the Alliance, and this is your ending for fans who like Eren and Paradis. And what's fucking right, I guess. And they're both supposed to be good. They're both supposed to be well received. Maybe. And now all we have are just possibilities. And that really just knocked me down a peg, watching his reaction to certain things. Seeing him move to tears when people said the ending is good. Hearing him say that he doesn't remember his own story. To even pick out his favorite scene. Like, he had to pick out some vague shit. Now, do I want to be all big-brained and honestly delusional and be like, no, he's saying that because his favorite scene is Eren freeing Ymir, keep moving forward, but he can't say that. No, he can't say that because when the anime comes out and you find out that in the manga, Eren never freed Ymir, but in the anime he does, he's gonna give away his final biggest plot twist. He's gonna give it all away if he says that. He can't say that. No, he can't say that. So he has to give a bullshit answer during that. And then he's trolling the audience by saying he doesn't remember. How does he not remember? He wrote it, right? Do I want to go down that fucking rabbit hole? No, because that can become delusional so fucking fast, right? If it's not already delusional. So yeah, him crying in touched honor when people said they liked the ending, him saying that he didn't know who Eren was until Kajiyuki voice acted him saying that Kajiyuki's portrayal of Eren made him shift the story when asked a question about the ending, right? So Kajiyuki's performance made him shift the ending to convince the readers of who Eren was, this new perspective Isayama had on him, right? His fucking words. It's just not looking so good. I don't feel confident because Isayama doesn't look confident. He did not look like, hey, I have something up my sleeve. He looked like, I'm broken and I need comfort. That's what he looked like. And why would he be so broken over something that's supposed to be intentionally bad? Like Love, right? Something that's supposed to intentionally break your heart. Why? And so that's just the last question I have. Why? It doesn't make any sense. And we know Isayama is the biggest contradicting person ever. He went back and forth so often that now it's impossible for him to speak without contradicting himself. He cannot speak. He cannot say another word without contradicting himself at this point. If he says, I never changed the ending. I always had this ending in mind, and that's the ending I gave to you. If he said that tomorrow, he'd be contradicting something he said. He'd be contradicting what he said yesterday. That after learning who Eren was via Kajiyuki's performance, he shifted the story to convince the readers that Eren was a good guy. Shifted the story. He says story. I swear to God, he says it in English. He says story. And all these people who are translating saying, oh, Brown's Magic mistranslated. He says story in English. What the fuck? Seriously, watch my last video again and fast forward to the end. He says story in English. He shifted the story to align more with Eren's character that he was just made aware of during the middle of the manga. The very definition of a retcon, the very definition of changing the ending, because Eren is the character of agency who is moving the story along. Oh, keep moving forward. Oh, let me go to Marley. And like I said in my last video, the actions Eren takes in the series are contingent on who he is as a person. So if halfway through the series, Isayama just finds out, gets this new epiphany on who Eren really is, he is changing the ending. He said he was tweaking little things as he went, tweaking little actions Eren took, because he has this new perspective on who Eren is now. Tweaking little things as he went along to shift the story to align more with his new perspective on who Eren is based on Kajiyuki's performance of Eren. And so, that all being said, I don't consider myself a Hope Chad anymore. AoE is not impossible. In fact, AoE is possible. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but if you've seen my AoE is inevitable video, possible and plausible are two different things. AoE is possible, but at this point, I don't really think it's plausible. Based on what Isayama said. Now, like, again, I'm a broken record at this point, but I don't mind to beat a dead horse. I don't mind it. Based on the story alone, I would be 100% Hope Chad. If Isayama had never opened his mouth, I would be 100% Hope Chad. If this New York event didn't happen, I would be 100% Hope Chad. If I wasn't there, I would probably be 100% Hope Chad. But the fact of the matter is, I watched his throat clench up. I heard his throat clench up with how disappointed he was that people didn't enjoy the ending. I was there for that. I saw that. I saw the bend of his brow. I saw the look in his face. And I saw, like, his heart. I saw him reaching out for comfort in a way. And that, to me, is like, oh, come on, bro. He really wanted you to like this ending. He wanted you to. And I don't know if that goes against AoE. That's the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is, Isayama wanted you to like the manga end. That is my conclusion. And so do with that what you will. But that is a fact at this point. I'm going to declare that as a fact. Isayama wanted you to like the manga ending. That is a fact. I'm saying it. I don't care. Quote me on that. It's a fact. He wanted you to like the manga ending. So that could still coexist with it being intentionally the inverse of ANR. That could still coexist with the fact that there may be an AoE. But I just want to say, good grief. I cannot be 100% Hope Chad anymore. And I just thought about when he said that episode of Keith Shaddis's backstory was beyond his writing ability. He doesn't know how he was able to pull that off. When Eren says he's special, he was born into this world, Carla, all of that. He somehow does not know how he pulled that off, which means Saint Chief was right. He created the character of Eren by accident, and everything good he wrote was a coincidence, I guess we just have to say. Anyways, that's it for me. Bye-bye. Comment, like, subscribe, whatever.